Let's please welcome to the stage the legend himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Buddy Guy.
Imagine leaving home one day to chase a dream you didn't even know was possible. Leaving so that you can make $68 a week instead of $28. That is what Buddy Guy did. He set off on a journey to Chicago, a town he knew nothing about, for a chance to play the blues. Little did he know that as a result to his move, he would change blues music permanently. Buddy grew up in the small town of Lettsworth, Louisiana, to Sam and Isabel Guy. He says that he first realized his love for guitars while looking through the newspaper.
My mother would get what they call the catalog from Sears Roebuck, or it was Alden's then, and I would look in there and I would see a guitar.
After seeing that photo, he decided to make his own guitar since his family did not have the money to buy one.
And what I buy you is that the mosquitoes is big enough to lift you out of bed almost, and we didn't have running water, air conditioning. Of course, we didn't have electricity. The fan we had was this. So finally they got 15 or 20 cents to get a piece of screen wire to tack it on there so you could keep some of the mosquitoes out. And I saw that and I started stealing it, just stripping it. So I would cut a hole in a can, a lighter fluid can, and put a little stick in it and take 4 tacks and put 4 strings on it. And you couldn't bang it, but I could do this.
As he grew up, his love for blues and guitars only increased. But he never dreamed of moving to Chicago or having a career in blues, but all that changed when one of his friends came back from Chicago. A friend of mine, a guy who was a cook in Chicago, he returned to Louisiana and said, "Man, you could go to Chicago and do well playing the guitar. You could play at night and work in the daytime." Guitars. That is what many people think of when they hear the words blues music, but it is also what people think of when they hear the name Buddy Guy. When Buddy came out from Louisiana, he brought along with him the electric guitar, giving blues music a whole new definition. At that time, not many blues musicians played with the electric guitar.
He's coming up in Louisiana. He got the old Sun House, those old Louisiana guys, but then he came to Chicago and he went electric.
What makes Buddy's guitar playing so original is the fact that he taught himself how to play. He would also go and watch other musicians and integrate what he saw there into his music. Guitar Slim, Howlin' Wolf, and B.B. King were only some of his influences.
If they would live in Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Lonnie Johnson, and Robert Johnson and people like that, they could answer your question, whatever you need, better than I can, because I didn't learn nothing in school. I learned it all from them.
It's funny because he takes a lot from the process of these musicians growing into themselves. What Buddy does, his wild energy, he got from a guy named Guitar Slim down in Louisiana. First show he ever saw, Guitar Slim came in, he started the show on a bouncer's shoulders in the back of the room, playing with a 100-foot long cable, and Buddy had to turn around to see him in the back of the room, and he didn't realize that that's what was going on, so he took that and built that into his show.
Buddy has incorporated a lot of these techniques into his own music.
If you listen at Hendrix Voodoo Child, that's the same thing I was doing in mine. See, that's the same licks Muddy Waters doing.
One person whom he really looked up to was B.B. King. Buddy talks about him in interviews and says that he has inspired him as a person and a player.
Is there anybody inspires you today? I mean, how do you stay?
Are you kidding?
How do you stay inspired?
All you gotta do is listen to B.B. King, man. That guy got a left hand, he vibrates his hand, man, and you don't need no special effects.
Buddy and B.B. are good friends and have been played together many times at many different places. B.B. helped induct Buddy into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
When it comes to being a great person, Buddy Guy is that. When it comes to be a great guitarist, Buddy Guy is that. He's a good friend.
I asked people what they thought of how he plays, and this is what they said.
Fearless. He just goes for it.
Say originality. I mean, it's just original music, heart, soul feeling. You know what I mean? It's just him.
What draws people into his music is his upbeat and enthusiastic way of playing. When you think of blues music, the first thing that comes to mind is sad or slow. But once you hear Buddy's music, your definition of blues will be changed forever. Once I was checking into a hotel and a couple saw my ring with blues on it. They said, "You play blues music? That music is so sad." I gave them tickets to the show, and they came up afterwards and said, "You didn't play one sad song." How he incorporates his electric guitar with energy and emotion is what makes him different from so many blues guitarists.
He particularly is famous for, they called him the bridge between blues and rock and roll.
Being the bridge between blues and rock and roll is not something that goes unnoticed. Before he knew it, people such as Jimi Hendrix, Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, and Stevie Ray Vaughan were all looking up to him and even using some of his techniques in their own music.
What Buddy did with the blues was picked up by a lot of the British rock and rollers, Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton. They came up with their style of rock and roll based on Buddy's blues.
Eric Clapton is a very famous guitar player who says that Buddy Guy has influenced him. He and Buddy Guy have played together numerous times and become really good friends over the years. He even says that he is the best guitar player in the world.
Thank you for all the inspiration he's given me over the years. His style of playing and singing, and his love and concern for the welfare of the blues has been a great example for me and countless others who have the good fortune to share this road.
So Buddy's whole thing is he really likes to influence younger guitar players. He's got a kid, this kid, his name is Quinn Sullivan, and he is 15 years old. And Buddy met Quinn when he was 7. And he called him up on stage and Quinn just blew him away. And Buddy, he does that a lot. He calls kids up on stage if he sees a kid with an instrument, and you know, he really likes to nurture the younger generation of musicians.
This is Quinn Sullivan and Buddy Guy performing together.
Watch yourself, 'cause I got my eyes on you. Now come on, play it for me now. Play it,
Before Muddy Waters died, he told Buddy to keep the blues alive. That is what he is trying to do. Nowadays, blues isn't as popular as other kinds of music and isn't heard as much. Buddy is trying to make sure the blues is passed on to generations after him. His leadership helped him introduce blues to the British and now all over the world. He even has his own bar, which is located in downtown Chicago. Buddy is now 78 years old, but he is still performing like he did when he was younger. He will always be remembered for his energetic style and original music.